There we go. El Jefe himself, University of Tampa head baseball coach Joe Urso. What's going on, my friend? How are you?
Oh, Jay, got a lot of rest yesterday. I needed it.
Good for you. What was the flight? How was getting everybody onto the plane that early in the morning Sunday? Did anybody get left behind?
So no one got left behind. We did a great job. 4 a.m. bus after a beautiful celebration with the parents, the alums, the boosters, and the players. We had a DJ, Tampa style, baby. We really did it right. Long night. Most of them just went on the bus straight from the party since it was an early 4 a.m. Bus only left 15 minutes late. So proud of the guys. We all made it home.
Nice. Yeah, that's the point for sure. What was different about this one? What was so special about this when you finally get that last out? Because this was, you and I spoke about this last night or the other night. This was a unique team, man. They had their flaws. They had guys that were very resilient. They had guys that bounced back, right? It wasn't easy. That's why I wasn't worried about after you guys lost game one, because it was like, you guys do this the hard way. That's what you guys have done this year. What was so special about this group?
Yeah, and what was special is, you had a lot of veterans, a lot of guys in their fifth, some in their sixth year of college because of all the different rules that are going on. And, with that, I had some concern, are some of these just last hurrah? How motivated are they going to be? Well, they showed me at the end, a lot of leadership. Can't thank these guys enough. My own son, JD Urso, he was just like a leader amongst men and letting the guys know that we are going to die on this field. It doesn't matter what it takes. We're not backing down. This is all of our last games, and the Nico Saladinos and the Woodburns and all the leadership that we had is what it was going to take to get through, not only the losers bracket in a regional tournament, but you get a losers bracket in the World Series. I don't know that it's been done that someone come out of it. And the way we had to do it, play 4 games in 30 hours, nothing short of abuse on the body. And we had a message about climbing a mountaintop. And when you get close, those last few, parts of that mountain are the toughest. And are we going to cave? Who's going to be the leader to get us to the top? And they got to the top the hardest way ever. And yes, this will go down as the most special championship of all. And this is why we do this job. Everyone's like, what motivates you? Well, it's something new every year. And these guys, they did the Spartans proud.
Yeah, I know what motivates you. It's right behind you on that desk back there. But yeah, I want to ask you about that because, I've known you guys for so long. I mean, I've been here 20 years. I've known you guys for a good chunk of that. And, JD, for the majority of those games and championships, he's been sitting next to me more than he's sitting next to you, right? We're supporting this team. I remember when he was thinking about going to St. Pete College and he ended up going to UT and the graduation and going from Plant and, going to Miami and then coming back and being with him last year in Cary, North Carolina. The fact that you were able to share that with him and your entire family, and he got the last out, Joe. I mean, could you have scripted this any better? Forget about the Joe Urso, the head baseball coach, but as a dad, could you have scripted this any better for your son and your family?
No, I mean, for Julie and I to be there, Preston didn't miss the moment. And for JD, the one thing I always told my kids is, you're going to earn your own ring here. You have an opportunity to earn your own ring. I'm not just going to give you one, from the past years. And now JD was able to earn his first ring as a player here. To say it has really completed a coaching journey that has been amazing. I don't know what's in store in the future. We all worry it could be the last title. I mean, these are hard to win, and we make it look easy, but you never know if you ever win another one. Right. But to be able to say look JD in the eye and to say we're champions together on the field just brings tears to my eyes, and just one of the most special moments. Like you said, forget the coach, but that a father can have with his son.
Yeah, and shout out to Julie and Preston too, but especially Julie. I mean, she's always there, man. She's always there. She's been committed to this program from day one. She's at every game. She's sitting there. You can hear when I'm watching the games when you guys are on location somewhere. I can hear Julie's. I don't know if they put the microphones near her, but she is so dedicated to this program. And man, it's so inspirational and just so cool to see. And one thing I love about you guys talk about family, and it's no joke. It's not hyperbole. It's what you build your program on. That's the secret sauce. And, to be able to see, 3/4 of your infield be kids from Tampa. And I said this before, and I'll say it again. You can't write the history of baseball in this city without Russo, without Urso, without Saladino. To be able to see those 3 kids, and you've known them even before their University of Tampa careers. I mean, for Nico to go 4 for 6, all 4 of those hits being run scoring hits in the second game. And for Cole to put the kibosh and that was the flag in the ground. We're going to be the champions, hitting that grand slam. I mean, what is that like to be able to see two kids like that? Because it's not just the kids, it's the families too that you've grown to know and love.
Yeah, and Tampa is obviously a baseball city, and you the names you just mentioned, to see their families in the stands, all in tears, when their kids had accomplished what they did in the semifinals. To see, Tony Saladino up there in tears because his grandson just knocked in every run possible for us to give us a chance to get to the final game. And we were out of steam. We were running out of pitching, and for Russo, you look up and you see his dad in tears, his stepdad in tears, and what it meant to them that their kid was able to come here, make a mark like that, a grand slam on the biggest stage, to put us within 3 outs of winning it, knowing that we were out of pitching. It really is a storybook ending.
You and Sammy, I want to know what that was like. What is it like when you're going like, all right, who do we got? Like, and you're going, hey, maybe one batter at a time with this guy. Right? This guy's not working. We got to go to this way. So what was that like? What's the discussion like when you get into those final 3 games where it's Johnny Holstaff, everybody's got to be ready. And then finally, what does it mean when you have your guy, CJ Williams, take the ball in every single one of those games? That dude just wanted it. And again, it's prophetic that he was on the mound when you guys won it all.
Yeah, for sure. And no one in college baseball does a better job of preparing his pitching staff and calling a baseball game. And Sam was ready for it. We go into each game with a plan of what order we're going to use pitchers and what situations. But nothing can prepare you for that kind of moment. Normally it's inning by inning or maybe a certain part of the lineup that you're going to attack. But we literally were trying to attack each batter with whatever fumes certain arms had. And one of the toughest jobs of managing and coaching alongside with Sam that we've ever had, and some tough calls. But in the end, I trust in him. We've been together since day one. He had a great plan of how he was going to execute 18 innings of baseball. And wow, did he do an amazing job again with his pitching staff.
And CJ?
And CJ, the night before, knowing we were out of pitching, I sent a group text out to my pitchers just saying who's available so Sam and I can have a really good plan tomorrow on how we're going to get 18 innings in. And every one of them was like, I'm available. I got it, coach. I'm like, CJ, you just pitched almost a complete game. You're not even on 24 hours rest. He goes, I got it. And we knew, looking him in the eye, he would have 3 outs for us. And then in the semifinal game, he does it. Comes out and gets us some outs. And then after that, he goes, I have it again. And we're just like, no way. No way we're going to ask this of a pitcher. And sure enough, what a special moment. Sam and I looked at each other and we're like, no one deserves this opportunity more. An All-American, our pitcher of the year, let him have that opportunity to go get those last 3 outs. And CJ did it. Just what 3 outings and, 24, 30 hours probably. Crazy. So, wow.
Unbelievable. All right. So I got to ask you, it's 5-1 in the 9th inning. Everybody knows what I was doing in that moment. What were you doing? 5-1, 9th inning, your son striding up to the plate, knowing damn well that it could all end right here. Does that cross your mind at all? And at what point did anything switch? Was the belief always there? Was it like, and then when he got a hit, it changed? Like, take us through your process where you're playing Northwest Nazarene. They're making these crazy catches now, field guys crashing into walls. The only run you have is a solo shot from Cole. It's 5-1 in the 9th inning. What's your mindset right there?
I'll take us back to that regional tournament, come out losers bracket. I told them focus every pitch. Don't count outs because there's no time clock in baseball. Just focus every pitch. At the end, we're going to look up the scoreboard and see if we're good enough. And as much as I said that, in that moment, it was tough to believe that. You're down 5-1. You haven't touched second base. All you've done is hit a home run. That was huge by Russo. And you haven't touched second base. This pitcher is absolutely dominating, going for a complete game. And then here comes a single by JD. Here comes another single. And then you feel the dugout belief. But I don't think for me, the belief happened until they went to the bullpen. And then you're like, oh boy, they may have just woke up a sleeping giant. We may still be in this game and have a chance. And sure enough, we took advantage of their bullpen. And then the biggest hit maybe in the 25 years I have seen as a head coach here, with Karstetter, a 3-run bomb to tie it in the 9th when we've had no life all game. Just this story, I'm in shock. It's you come from behind once, fine, but to do it over and over and over again, that doesn't happen in baseball. And it just shows a lot about the leadership, character of our team, how much this pride of this university means to us, and that no one was going to leave anything on that field. And that was a lot of the senior leadership that we had.
So then he gets banged up. And then the great thing about the last game was that Cole comes in, gets a bunt down, and here comes Mikey, who comes in for him, and he hits an RBI single to right center field. So it was like whoever you ended up calling on, it seemed like it worked out. And you got contributions from everybody. And I want to talk about your outfield now. Villegas wins the MVP. It could have went to a bunch of different guys, but his contributions this year, I love his stature and I love his mindset at the plate, because it feels like I don't care who's on the mound. I'm the best player on the field. There's a quiet confidence about that kid when he's at the plate. Talk about what he was able to do to kind of just be that consistent guy that when you needed a big fly, he came up. When you needed a single, when you needed a walk, like that dude did whatever it took to be able to contribute to the victory.
Still talking about Karstetter because I got crossed up there a little bit with the screen went blank on me.
Villegas.
Okay. Sorry about that. I'm glad I asked.
You're good.
Could have just answered. So Villegas comes to us in January, a spring only guy, not easy to do. And immediately the players just take to him. And the most talented guy on the field. I told Sam and Jose when we recruited him, as soon as I get this guy on campus, he immediately becomes our most electric player that we have on this roster. And he proved us right. I mean, he came up in some big moments, clutch hits, 4 home runs in the World Series. Just can't say enough about his talent. But to show up on the big stage when we needed him most, just really proud of him and what he was able to do in just 6 months as a Spartan.
I'm always a big believer that some of your best rallies happen when it's 8-9-1 rather than 1-2-3, because you get that 9 hitter on, holy smokes, then you start playing a different ball game. To have Maddox King there at the 9 hole, again, another legacy guy, won a championship last year, unbelievable defense with some of the crazy catches at the walls this year. And then Jordan Williams, another 2 Tampa kids right there. And Jordan, the speed. Talk about what Maddox has been able to do and also the defense. And then tell me about Jordan Williams. You send him from second base on a sacrifice fly, which I think is probably one of the more under the radar type plays that led to the championship.
Yeah, I mean, Maddox King, he's known to be the best defensive center fielder we've had in a long time here, and we've had some really good ones. So hats off to him. But how hard he's worked on the offensive end to be able to do what he did this year. I mean, he had over 300 in that World Series and was on base all the time with walks, came up in situational hitting times where I needed a bunt down. He got it down for us. So he truly was doing it all. And had a big walk there late for us as well, as we rallied. So he did it all for us. And Jordan Williams, really when he went is when our offense went. And leading off every game, once he gets on, and I would tell him, you don't always have to steal a base to create the havoc. They're going to throw a good fastball for us to hit a double or home run with just because you're on base and they have to be so quick to the plate. But he changed the game, The St. Louis Cardinals and Whitey Herzog days are some of my favorite teams that I watch. And to have a guy just like that, a Vince Coleman type player on my roster, he's at second base, and I see JD's fly ball going to deep center at 400. And immediately the first thing through my mind is, if this center fielder's lazy, I'm scoring this kid from second base. Mm-hmm. And Jordan didn't slow down. The center fielder gave us just enough of a bad throw to make it bang, bang at the plate. But the kid is a baseball player and absolutely flies, but can do it all. And what a big moment to have a sac fly from second base.
Unbelievable. And I think that's the hard thing to like defend with your team, right? Is nobody on your team was like, you didn't have one guy on your team that was like, all right, this guy had 20 bombs or that, right? Like there was just so many different ways to beat you, so many different ways that you could beat these other teams. And I mentioned this before you came on, I said, we went to lunch at Outback before the season and we were kind of looking over and we were going over the team and you were just like, on paper, there's just a lot of guys there's only 9 of them can play. Did you think that it was going to go like this as far as, of course, your goal is always the championship game, but how the team kind of worked itself out? Is it always the way that you think it's going to be? Like, did everything go according to plan, or was this one of those years where just kind of the way it played out, you kind of had to mix and match and find the right equation as the year went on?
Yeah. I mean, everybody on this roster on a certain day would step up. It was always someone new. Team depth was going to be the strength of this team. From that meeting I had with you at the Outback, we talked about it. But then we go out and preseason, with all the different lawsuits and everything, I lose 2 of the biggest home run hitters that were ever going to come to Division II baseball. Mm-hmm. And so some people were like, oh, are they going to have enough now? And then just the depth throughout the team showed up when we needed it most. I think the 1 through 9 and having that bench is what really got us through, because it was a lot of baseball there at the end, and we had to call on a lot of different names. So not many people have the depth that we had this year, and that was what got us through.
Talk to me about the coaching staff outside of Sammy and Jose, some of the guys that maybe doing the behind the scenes work, the guys from the alumni, and, Russ Bruno's a guy I was spending time with, talking to him yesterday. I mean, that's what I love so much about this program is it's not just the 9 guys on the field. It's not just the players. It's not just you, Sammy and Jose. Like there's a lot that goes into it. I think I realized it at the ring ceremony last year when you were like, Jay, I got a long list. And I go, it can't be that long. And then 40 minutes later, I go, this guy touched on everything. But take this time, if you can, to talk about some of those other coaches that we may not hear about, and the alumni and the boosters and some of the other people just involved that help get you guys to this point.
Yeah, well, you talk about, the Bull Gators at Florida. Well, these Spartans that we have over here, I mean, we got a couple really just big hitters that make sure I have all the resources possible to be successful. And, Russ Bruno, you mentioned him. I call him the GM of the program. He calls me most mornings, and we're going through what we need. And he's always there for me to reach out. Fred Pollock, Steve Malden, who was there with us. Fred Pollock was there. Stu Williams. I mean, they're just some big time Spartan alums that will make sure that we have the resources. And, obviously the great Tino Martinez and what his family and that Rini Martinez Golf Classic does for our program each year. It truly does take a village. We talked about the ring ceremony. Going to the World Series, I reached out to all the championship teams. There had been 9 of them. Obviously, now we got 10. All of them, including last year's group, who don't even really have jobs yet. And I asked them, can you guys help? We're going to be the 300 Spartan Club. I need $300 from as many of you as possible to make sure this World Series I can run first class and bring the whole team. We had a party of 49. NCAA only pays for 30. And then here comes all those championship teams. We raised $20,000 in 3 days because of these guys. So it's not just the select, 4 or 5 that I mentioned at the top. It truly does take a village to be successful and to run a program like we're running. And it's nothing short of a dynasty. I pinch myself every day, and I don't take it for granted. I hope we can keep it going. But number 10, Jay, can you believe it? Number 10, and you were there for it. And, down to our last out so many times, but these guys believed in themselves.
How about the other coaches on the staff? Because there's a bunch of guys in the dugout. I know even in some of the players that don't even get into the games, like everybody is focused and everybody has a job to help you guys.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we talk a lot about, Coach Sam and the pitching staff. Coach Jose probably puts in more hours than anyone in the country at any level. He's here first thing in the morning, running down video, getting prepared for his spray charts for our defense, for the hitters to know what kind of pitcher we're facing, and just goes above and beyond. Christopher Rosenbaum, the only advanced scout in college baseball, probably even at the Division I level. But I've been able to utilize him to his strengths. He did this on the major league scale. He was an advanced scout with the Nationals and the Astros, and he goes a week ahead of me to get me prepared for the team we're about to play. Scott McNulty, who has been working at the university longer than I have as a volunteer, throwing batting practice, working with our infielders, outfielders, whatever it takes. I mean, it's just amazing that they put in so much for us each year. Our head JV coach, Mark Johnson, 25 years as well with me. Wow. and helping develop these young guys and my freshmen when I send them down for games. So the list goes on and on. Our strength coach, Roberto Mena, our trainer, Scott Brickett, to get these guys through that many games in 30 hours. I'm just amazed of what all of them most have been. They have graduated from the university. So all of them have an extra pride about what we've been able to accomplish to keep this tradition going. And I truly think that is our lifeline. It's we all bleed Spartan red.
And I got to ask you about the most popular person wearing a Tampa Spartans uniform, and that is Coop. Like, how great is it to have the greatest bat boy on the planet? He is so smart. He knows when to go in to get the bat, knows when to get the stuff. He shows love everybody. I mean, to have Jose's son Coop out there, I mean, it's another wrinkle to this team that really accentuates how important family is.
Yeah, I mean, nothing can be more cute than a kid wearing the game day uniform of the team all the time. And he would call me, JoJo, what uniforms are we wearing today? And then he would call, later in the year, JoJo, can I be the bat boy today? And he would ask every day, can I be the bat boy today? Of course. Can I be the bat boy? Well, it got to the point that when he wasn't the bat boy, we lost. So the team would call and say, "Hey, Cooper's coming, right? Cooper's going to be the bat boy, right?" So when Jose asked, are they going to allow him to do this in the World Series? I said they have no choice. Well, this team believes in Cooper, and he's going to go. And he is so mature in that dugout. He allows his dad to do his work. He doesn't bother him, and just so mature. And to hear the crowd every time he goes to pick up a bat or a helmet yelling Coop and him signaling, it's was a great moment for his family and for me, because he's grown up, around us, just like, my kids grew up around the game, just like Sam's daughter grew up around the game. His kids are growing up around the game. They're Spartans, and this means everything to them. Our success is their success, and Cooper and Penelope, his sister, in the stands cheering crazy, but Cooper was a fan favorite, and he was able to throw out the first pitch in the final game. So he's going to have a one-up on a lot of bat boys moving forward.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I love it. He's very workmanlike about it. Like, even when they give him Coop, he's like, yeah, showing you guys love. I got to get back to the dugout. And you're right. Penelope, she was out there throwing the ball around. She was running the roost outside of the field when you guys were playing and the kids were playing, wall ball and everything. It was just a lot of great stuff, man. Joe Urso, the head coach of our University of Tampa Spartans, 10 national championships, my friend. Congratulations. Couldn't happen to a better coach, to a better human being. Thank you personally for your friendship and your mentorship, and just to be able to be there for the last two. And to, I say this a lot, we're so lucky to be able to have people in our lives that graduate from like friends to family. You guys, going back to my coaching days, have always been so just unbelievable to me. And I hope that I reciprocate that and, show you guys the love and support that you so, deserve. And just to every single time I go there, you guys are so welcoming and you make me feel like part of the family, not just the Spartans family, but the Urso family. And the fact that JD was able to win one, and that Julie and Preston were there, and the Russos and the Saladinos, like, it's tough being away from my family, but when I get to experience the moments like this past weekend, like it just shows to me that I'm in the right place. So great things happen to great people, and they don't make them much better than you, my friend. So thank you so much. Congratulations. I wouldn't get crapped on by a bird for pretty much anybody else on this planet for you and the boys. So I know you got to get back. Julie's running around like a maniac, getting the house ready for everything later on today. I'll see you later on, my friend. Thank you so much for your time. And again, congratulations on everything.
Thank you, Jay. And thank you for what you mean to Tampa Bay sports. You truly are there for us every time, not just the Spartans, but anytime there's a big moment, you're there for us. And we all appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. All right. Talk to you soon. Thanks, pal.
Thanks.
You got it.